A hush of sorrow envelops the painting, as if time itself has paused in silent witness to a tragedy that is both deeply personal and achingly universal. The air is thick with a sense of loss, heavy and unmoving beneath the stone arch of Waterloo Bridge. Here the world narrows to a single haunting tableau, the lifeless form of a young woman, her body half claimed by the dark waters of the Thames. The quietude is profound, broken only by the imagined echo of distant city sounds, muffled by fog and grief. There is no movement, no struggle, only the stillness of resignation and the lingering weight of a story that cannot be told aloud. The woman's presence commands the scene, yet she is rendered with a humility that speaks to her status in life. Her clothing is simple, perhaps that of a servant, her hair loosened and her features softened by the gentle, almost reverent light that falls upon her. The arch above frames her as if the city itself is both witness and confessor, its cold stone echoing the indifference of the world beyond. The water laps quietly at her legs, a boundary between the living and the lost, and the muted palette of the painting, its browns, greens, and ashen greys, deepens the sense of mourning. As the eye lingers, the arrangement of her body becomes unmistakably symbolic. Her arms are outstretched, her form echoing the shape of a cross. This cruciform posture is not accidental. It evokes the Christian imagery of sacrifice and suffering, inviting viewers to contemplate not only her fate, but the broader burdens borne by those cast aside by society. The symbolism is heightened by a small, poignant detail. In one hand, she clutches a locket and chain. This object, delicate and personal, suggests an attachment to a lover, or perhaps the memory of a lost relationship, a silent testament to the emotional world that preceded her final act. A single star glimmers faintly above her, barely visible through the haze. It offers a subtle counterpoint to the darkness below, a suggestion of hope or redemption that persists even in the bleakest of circumstances. The star's presence is easy to overlook, but its quiet persistence in the sky invites reflection on the possibility of grace amid despair. Stepping back, the painting's background emerges from the gloom, a cityscape rendered in soft focus, its outlines blurred by the ever-present London smog. Factory chimneys and industrial buildings rise on the south bank of the Thames, their forms barely distinguishable through the grey veil. This is the London of the mid-19th century, a city transformed by industry, its air thick with soot, and its river a conduit for both commerce and tragedy. The harshness of the urban environment is palpable, and it stands in stark contrast to the vulnerability of the figure in the foreground. The city seems indifferent, its progress measured by smokestacks and stone arches, rather than by the fates of its most fragile inhabitants. This setting is not merely a backdrop, but an integral part of the painting's emotional and social landscape. The industrial city looms as both cause and context, a place where rapid change has brought both opportunity and alienation. The woman's isolation is heightened by the vastness of the city around her, suggesting the loneliness that can exist even in the midst of crowds. The environmental details, smog, water, stone, are not simply descriptive, but serve to reinforce the mood of estrangement and sorrow. Turning to the artist, George Frederic Watts was a figure deeply attuned to the moral and social questions of his time. Born in 1817, Watts rose to prominence as a British painter and sculptor, known for his allegorical works and penetrating portraits. He was associated with the Victorian era's artistic circles and was influenced by the ideals of the Pre-Raphaelite movement, which sought to combine careful observation of nature with symbolic meaning. Watts's work often grappled with themes of human suffering, morality, and the responsibilities of society. He believed that art could and should address the pressing issues of the day, and Found Drowned stands as a testament to this conviction. Watts's own life was marked by both artistic achievement and personal reflection. He moved in intellectual circles, engaging with writers, reformers, and fellow artists who were concerned with social justice. His paintings frequently explored the darker aspects of human experience, not out of a desire for sensationalism, but from a commitment to empathy and understanding. Found Drowned is a particularly poignant example of this approach, offering not only a visual record of tragedy, but also an invitation to consider its causes and consequences. The inspiration for this painting can be traced to Thomas Hood's 1844 poem, The Bridge of Sighs. Hood's poem tells the story of a young woman who, driven by shame and exclusion as a so-called fallen woman, ends her life in the river. The poem is a lament for those who, having transgressed the rigid moral codes of Victorian society, found themselves ostracized and without support. Hood's verses are compassionate, urging readers to look beyond condemnation and to recognize the humanity of those who suffer. Watts's painting translates these literary themes into visual form, capturing the same sense of mourning and reflection that pervades the poem. The connection between poem and painting is evident not only in subject matter, but in tone. Both works resist easy judgment, instead offering a space for contemplation and, perhaps, for empathy. In this way, Found Drowned serves as a bridge between art and literature, between the individual and the collective, between the visible and the invisible forces that shape lives. Examining the painting more closely, Watts's technical choices further reinforce its emotional impact. The palette is subdued, dominated by earth tones and muted shades that create a somber atmosphere. The brushwork is smooth and controlled, with careful attention to the textures of fabric, water, and stone. The composition is deliberate. The arch frames the woman, drawing the viewer's gaze toward her, while the indistinct background recedes into shadow. This balance between clarity and obscurity mirrors the tension between personal tragedy and public indifference. Spot, zooming in on the locket and chain in the woman's hand, we see a detail that anchors the painting in the realm of the personal. The locket is rendered with precision, its metallic surface catching what little light penetrates the gloom. This object, so easily overlooked, becomes a focal point for the viewer's empathy, a reminder that the woman was more than a symbol. She was an individual with her own attachments and memories. Similarly, the single star above her head, though small, is painted with enough clarity to suggest its importance. It stands as a visual metaphor for hope, however faint, in a world that can seem overwhelmingly dark. The provenance of Found Drowned is not extensively documented. It is known to have been created around 1850, but its subsequent history is somewhat obscure. Many of Watts's works have passed through private collections or have been housed in museums specializing in Victorian art. The painting's current location is not widely published in public records, which is not uncommon for works of this period and subject matter. Nevertheless, Watts's paintings have been exhibited in major galleries, and his reputation as a leading figure in Victorian art ensures that Found Drowned remains an important part of the broader cultural conversation. Market value for works by George Frederic Watts has varied over time, reflecting shifts in taste and scholarly interest. His paintings are generally regarded as significant both for their technical merit and for their engagement with social themes. Found Drowned, with its evocative subject and careful execution, is often cited as a key example of his ability to blend realism with symbolism. In considering the legacy of Found Drowned, it is important to recognize its dual role as both a work of art and a historical document. The painting offers insight into the social realities of Victorian London, the challenges faced by women, the impact of industrialization, and the ways in which art and literature sought to address issues of injustice and suffering. At the same time, it stands as a testament to the enduring power of empathy, inviting viewers across generations to pause, reflect, and bear witness to the silent tragedies that shape human experience. The significance of Found Drowned lies not only in its depiction of sorrow, but in its refusal to let that sorrow pass unnoticed. Through careful composition, symbolic detail, and a profound sense of atmosphere, George Frederic Watts transforms a moment of despair into a lasting meditation on compassion and social responsibility. The painting endures as a quiet, powerful reminder of the need to see and to remember the lives that history might otherwise forget.